everybody. So one more thing that we're doing today, and that would be our peach cobbler filling. I'm just going to do the filling. I'm going to freeze that. We have yellow clean peaches here. Big giant can, and we're just slicing them up right now. Once I do that, then I'll come back. The thing is, for my peach cobbler filling, I don't really measure anything. So you'll have to look at me when I'm doing the when I'm actually putting in the sugar and everything for the seasoning, because I just kind of do it by feeling, which I know doesn't help anybody. Right? Feeling and taste, yeah. Doesn't really help anybody, but maybe if you see me do it, and then you can always call me and I can say, try this amount first and then taste it and see. So we'll go through that route.
And it's about your taste, right?
Right. It's
what
about,
you like.
Right. It's about the individual taste as well. So it'll be good. It'll be good. So I'm slicing up the peaches now, and we'll be back once we start putting in the sugar and all of that stuff. Bye. Hi, everybody. So I sliced up all the peaches. If you want to take a look inside the cauldron, as I call it.
How many peaches did we use?
We used 3, like almost 30-ounce cans. I think it was 28 point something cans, but they're the larger cans. Yeah. So we used 3 of those, and we sliced up the peaches. We put about 3 cups of sugar in here as well. And this is actually for a large peach cobbler. It's going to be a big
couple of large with it.
Yes. So, of course, you can cut this recipe in half or in thirds, whichever works best for you. So basically, the sugar's in there, and it's just stirring it to make sure that it's dissolving. The heat is on medium heat for this. And I'm just going to put a couple of tablespoons of vanilla flavoring in here. A couple of tablespoons. And if you go over a little bit, because I'm extra, it's all good. So that's vanilla. That.
In particular, vanilla?
The best. Some people like Madagascar. I just got that from Costco. Doesn't really have to be Madagascar, but just make sure you use some pure vanilla. And I'm also going to be doing nutmeg. So like I said, I don't really do a whole lot of measurements, but let's just see how this works out. You don't need a lot of nutmeg, simply because a little bit of nutmeg goes a long way.
Okay.
But let's try, for this amount, let's try a tablespoon and see. Let's see. Let's
open a new one.
Open up the new one. And put this over here. We'll do a tablespoon. Oops. Okay. So yeah, that looks like it's going to be good. So for that amount, I did a tablespoon of nutmeg as well. Like I said, that's a lot of peaches, so that's why I can get away with that. But I would say for, if you were thirding this or halving this, maybe a couple of teaspoons of nutmeg, that would be better. And so we're going to let this get warm. And in the meantime, I am going to make, what I call my flour slurry. And that's just going to be my thickener. So what I'll do is, I'll take some all-purpose flour. And I'm going to take some warm water. And I'll put this in, let's use a cup. Doesn't matter what you put it in, as long as you can get it out into your, I'm going to do, for like I said, because we have a lot of peaches, I'm going to actually do a half a cup, and I won't put it all in there if I don't need it, but I'm going to make up about a half a cup. Excuse me, let me get a teaspoon here. And we're going to put water in here just enough. You don't want it too thick. Now that would be too thick, so I need more water. And you want to stir it until all of the lumps are out. So that's about what you want it to look like. And again, keep stirring until all of the lumps are out. Because if you don't, then those lumps are going to be into the filling itself, the peach cobbler filling itself. So
Lumps of flour, huh?
Yep, lumps of flour. And you don't want that, lumps and clumps of flour. Nobody wants that. So while I do this, we're waiting for that to heat up, and then we'll be back to show us putting the flour slurry into the peach cobbler filling, and then it'll thicken up, and we'll add some butter at the end, and that'll be it. It's very, very easy.
Yeah.
Peach cobbler filling is so easy. But a lot of people seem to like peach cobbler, so anybody can do this, honestly. All right, we'll see you next time. So we're back. The peach filling is now hot, as you can see from the smoke. It's not boiling, but it is hot, and that's where we want it before we add the slurry. This is the slurry, and I've been stirring it, and as you can see, no lumps or anything in there. This is as smooth as a little thinner than a pancake batter, but very smooth. Very, very smooth. So we're going to now add this into the hot filling, and this is what's going to make it thicken up. So
Sorry about that.
I'm going to go ahead and pour all of that in there, simply because there are, like I said, that we used a lot of peaches, and we want to make sure that this is nice and thick. So we're adding that.
What does that do? What does that
It
do?
thickens the filling. It thickens the peach cobbler filling, because you don't want it to be too runny. You know, it's going to be a little thicker than, say, an actual apple pie filling, because my apple pie filling tends to get, you know, where the slices stay together, that it doesn't ooze out. So, but it's going to be less thick than that, but it's going to also be thick enough where, you know, it's not running all over the place. So here we are. We're going to let this go. I'm going to turn the heat down to like a medium, because it was on high to get it hot. And we're going to let this go ahead and hang out so that they can thicken up. And we'll come back once it thickens and show you what the final step is in the peach cobbler filling.
Awesome.
Exciting. So this is the look that we were going for the peach cobbler filling. It's at a slow boil. You'll see it at a slow rolling boil. And it looks more runny than it actually is. But that's what we're looking for. That's the stage that we're looking for, okay? And what's going to happen is the peach cobbler, once we get it layered and the crust is in there, the bottom crust, the middle crust, and the top crust with the peaches in between, and you start baking it, because I bake mine at each level. I don't just put those layers in there and then bake it. I put the peaches, and then I put the crust, and I bake that. And then I put more peaches, and then I put more crust, and I bake that. And then I put more peaches and more crust, and I bake that. So at each level, it's being baked, and it gets thicker. The more you bake it, the thicker it gets. So it's going to be thicker than this. Eventually, at the end, it's going to be much thicker than this. But I wanted to let you see that. And that's basically it, everyone. I know. That's basically it. The last thing that we do for the peach cobbler, and this is the piece de resistance, because what we do now is that we will just add 2 sticks of butter. Yes, I said 2. If you're coming to my house for Thanksgiving, you can't be on a diet. I'm so sorry. And this is the only time we cook like this. No apologies at all, but these are our family recipes, and it is what it is. But this will add a nice buttery finish to the peach cobbler, and that just I turned the heat off. That will sit in there, and then I'll let that cool. Put them in the plastic Ziploc bags, freezer bags, and go ahead and put them in the freezer. So that's it. Very simple. Like I said, it's not like the peach cobbler filling is that difficult at all. I mean, come on, canned peaches, but they're delicious in the peach cobbler. So that's it. Bye.